interview.
Doing an interview.
Oh. Live audience.
Okay. Little, what place I get?
So,
Can we get some applause?
You got second.
Here we are with Chriso, live.
So tell us about
In the studio.
what's the history of what's your knowledge of the projects like?
My knowledge of the projects?
Like when did it all come about and
like what year?
Yeah.
Shit, man, fuck. I don't know what year. I don't know what year. I can tell you, like, there was this property that this lady has, Lisa, that's a skier, and everybody kind of lived out in Chiliota, Bithlo area already. Lake Pickett. Pat lived with Bruce Clem across from Chiliota, Jody, and I lived with Kim in Chiliota, and there was this piece of property out there with a lake, and this lady, or there were some skiers that rented it. We kind of stumbled upon it, and Pat hooked up with her and started renting the facility, and then I kind of came on board and helped with, like financial help, partner, pay for the rent and all that stuff, and it's kind of where all the whole, the carnival and all that stuff, we could build rails and do whatever we wanted out there. It was like, none of that stuff was around back then. We'd hit like docks and stuff like that, but this was like the first place that we actually could build like rails and keep them up and do stuff,
So like the progression of rail riding from back then really owes it to like Pat and you guys really taking that spot on and
yeah, for sure. There wasn't any of that stuff around before the projects. When the projects was, there was all the name is of projects is like there's a project always going on out there, something new, something no one's ever seen before. From land gaps to quarter pipe vert ramps in the water to everything you see now.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've seen going down out there?
Craziest thing I've ever seen? Probably crazy, like maybe just that land gap thing was pretty crazy.
That Keith Lidberg did?
I was talking about like old Parks and Chad jumping over the gap that's still out there. That big
the entrance
dinosaur thing, so scary. That's probably the gnarliest thing. Maybe one also is when we did the 12 Honkies with Dale Cartwright, Gator's brother-in-law. Parks and I were sitting in Ron's limo when we had to jump up to the limousine, and Parks was in the front seat, and I said, Parks, you better get in the back, man, or duck, and he just came right through the window, smashing it with his back. That was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, that is gnarly.
Watch 12 Honkies at the end.
For sure.
You seen that?
Yeah.
My brother did it too.
Yeah.
But he missed the windshield.
So back then, was it like it was just a private facility just for like all the homies to come out and pretty much build what they want? Is that how it sort of?
Man, I think that's how it was. And then Pat started the school, and started. It was, I think, he just had the trailer and the lake, and then... Actually, I think before the carnival, it wasn't even his. I think after the carnival, he got control of it, maybe. I don't know. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
I forget. What was the question again?
I don't even know. I'm trying to think of some good questions.
Alright, shall we?
Where do you think the sport would be without Pat Panakos involved?
Pat definitely, helped out, but I mean, the sport still would probably be where it is because you gotta keep it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pat's given his whole, you know, everything he's got into the sport and progressing it for sure. What he's done is great, you know, like with the whole projects, and then now him doing Necessity Tech and all that stuff for sure.
Yeah.
And with the whole Red Bull thing, and
I just don't think that it would have been like as advanced as what it is now if we didn't like have the projects and those things. Like, I think
yeah,
it's,
but
like,
it
sped
just
up
would
the
have been
process.
somewhere else, you know.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
true.
You know, I don't know. Everybody, I don't know. It's kind of personal. I was just as much a part of it as he was.
Yeah.
Probably a bigger part.
Yeah.
But
sure.
no, what he's done is great, man. Fuck, for sure. Definitely. I'm really happy for him. What he's done and where it's came, and for sure. But you know, it would have got there for sure. Maybe a couple months later, but not that much longer.
Nice.
Somebody would have done it.
I mean, it's just evolution of a sport, you know. You got to keep doing something new, and fuck, when I started, there wasn't any of this shit, and
That was a great
I
facility.
mean, fuck, I started building shit way before Pat and the projects at my dad's house at Lake Catherine.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like,
Whose idea was it to build that quarter pipe? And the first was it the first carnival or the
actually,
second one? That
Tim
massive
Payne
one?
gave us the vert ramp from the Surf Expo. I've known Tim for a long time, and he just said we could have it, and we're just trying something different. And it had a little bit too much vert to it.
Yeah, that footage is pretty old time.
Yeah, Randall breaking his arm was pretty crazy. Yeah. Fun times, though, man. Lots of good stuff out there. Too many to remember them all.
Alright, cool, man.